We're going to have another conversation about net neutrality because I think this is honestly the biggest political issue of our day, and it will also have a massive impact on our ability to deal with other political issues of our days. So, I'm going to start off by telling you what net neutrality is, why you should care about it, and why you need to be calling your representatives about this issue, because this is not going to go away. This is something that will have a profound impact on the way that we are able to access the internet and the things we are able to see and do online. So what is net neutrality? It is a set of 2015 rules passed by a Democrat-controlled FCC which regulates broadband as a utility. This means that companies can't put fast and slow lanes on the internet that allow different websites tiers of different access. This is good because it also prevents them from completely neutering the entire point of you paying for high-speed internet. Because if you pay for high-speed internet, but all the services that you like to use online didn't pay for the fast lane, your high-speed internet doesn't matter because you will still get slower access to these services. This also gives these companies the ability to throttle or slow the speed of particular websites, maybe their competition. If they want to create their own streaming service, for example, maybe they go ahead and throttle Netflix and Hulu, or charge them exorbitant fees to give them faster access again. Gosh, sounds like a great business model for the internet service providers, doesn't it? Sure doesn't sound very useful for consumers. So basically, the repeal of these rules means that. That is probably what is going to be the result, because these service providers have absolutely no incentive not to do exactly that, and these rules actually specifically give them the ability to not only throttle different websites and create an internet slow and fast lane, but also block content. They will be able to decide what content you are able to see on the internet that you pay them to use. Think about that. Think about the implications of that. If there are news stories that they don't like, maybe against the congressman they're supporting, or against their own corporation, well, they can just make sure that all their consumers don't see it. And all of this is veiled under the idea that it will somehow create more choice and more competition. In the United States, in many rural areas, there is one service provider. You don't get a choice, meaning that the idea that transparency will protect the consumer is completely laughable and utterly naive. Think about it. Great, they can be transparent that they're screwing you over, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You need access to the internet. There's no other service provider. What are you going to do? Move to a different town? Just pick up your entire life and move? Well, sure, maybe if you're upper middle class and the internet matters to that extent to you, you might do that. But to everyone else who's stuck paying for shit-tier internet and now unable to access the services that they're paying to access, well, they're just screwed. And also, there's a good chance that the services that you access online will cost more money because they'll have to pay this huge ransom to these companies to get the same access that they already have. Because again, nothing is going to get faster. By the way, the internet fast lane will not suddenly make the entire internet faster in some areas than it is now. The fast lane is what we have now, and the slow lane will slow down all your content so that you're forced to pay for access to the fast lane or choose services and sites that have access to the fast lane. It creates an entirely new barrier of entry for businesses and creators trying to start something new on the internet. This is a disaster for job growth and for economic growth online. This is a disaster for free speech. And if you care about any of these things, and I know many of you do because you constantly talk about free speech on my channel, and believe it or not, I do actually care about that. You know how I said that it's okay that the incels got banned off of Reddit because they can go create their own forum? Well, what if they can't anymore? I mean, I don't really care about their particular ideology at all, but for ideologies I do care about, I do want them to be able to create a website with the chance of being able to reach a wide audience. It's important for us to be able to get our ideas out there in our increasingly globalized world and be able to connect with other people. And the internet is the means with which we're able to do that, the means with which we're able to talk to each other. The internet obviously is how I'm talking to you right now. The only thing you can do at this point is call your representatives, because there's no way for you to stop the FCC from doing this. They have the votes, and they are going to repeal net neutrality. Your only line of defense is Congress. As laughable as this sounds. The only advice I have for you is call your representatives. Call them and call them and call them. I want to have those phones ringing off the hook all day long. I want them to have so many voicemails, they can't possibly go through them. I know people who have worked in the offices of Congress people, and let me tell you, emails and letters sometimes get seen, especially if there's a notable uptick, but what really disrupts a day, what has the interns pinned to their desks, answering phones all day, and then going and talking to the representative about what's going on, is those phone calls. You have to call and call and call. I'm going to put some links to websites down below that help you find the correct numbers to call for the congressmen that will be able to impact this decision. You will want to just call them repeatedly. Every opportunity you get, I want you to call them at least once a day, maybe more if you can, until we are able to do something about this. We are standing on the precipice of a decision that will make a huge impact on the access that we have to content online and to creation of content online. We cannot let this opportunity pass us up, because there is a very good chance that there is no going back once this is done. It may be too late. Their power may be too far entrenched. It's already clearly too far entrenched, because there is no possible interest of the American consumer that is served by repealing net neutrality. Net neutrality rules have done a fantastic rule of protecting us, and 22 million comments were made by the American people, 95% of which said just that. So call your representatives, pay attention. This issue matters more than any other issue we're dealing with right now, because this issue will impact our ability to address all the other political problems, because it will impact our ability to communicate. That's everything I have for you on this. Wiedersehen.